With so much bad news coming from Detroit over the last year, we thought it was about time that we brought you a good news story. Ford. Ford has been able to stay out of bankruptcy protection, and because of that, they've been rewarded with a growing market share and traffic in their dealerships across Canada. For 2 short months in 2009, Ford was the #1 automotive company in Canada, the first time they've been #1 in over 60 years, according to Dennis DeRosier, Canada's leading auto analyst. Granted, much of this has come at the expense of GM and Chrysler due to plant closures, restructuring, and weak public perception. Because Ford didn't need to ask for bailout money and have avoided bad press, they sensed the opportunity to grab domestic market share, and it worked. Ford has even announced that they'll be cranking up production to meet demand. It also doesn't hurt that they've had some excellent new products, like the F-150, Flex, Fusion, and Edge. So congrats to Ford, a Detroit good news story.
The thing about that Ford piece, Lacey, is we shot it just before our season started, but what's changed since then? General Motors is back at #1, probably because they were in bankruptcy protection, people shied away from the brand, and they didn't have a lot of inventory on dealers' lots. Well, they're out of bankruptcy protection, there's cars on lots again, and they're back to the #1 position. But the thing about Ford is their market share has increased overall. Because they never asked for any bailout money from the government, and they have a whole list of new products that are excellent, and they're winning all kinds of quality awards.
So speaking of that, if, for example, the Mustang that we drove earlier in the show, I mean, the great thing about that car is it was originally produced back in 1964, and it's still in production. They've made so many changes and completely modernized it. The only thing that's really stayed the same is the name.